Hello, welcome to the weekly wind-up with myself, Emma Kirk. Last year, Stephen popped into the studio to speak with Nicola about some exciting concerts the Honley Male Choir had performed. Today he's back to talk about some of the changes that have occurred in the last year and a new focus that they have, and why, when you go to one of their concerts, you'll notice a shift in the musical programme. Welcome to the show, Stephen.
Nice to see you.
So tell me a little bit about what the choir's been up to since you came on last time.
I think one of the biggest focuses that we've had is to try and show that we are a young choir. Now, young is a term which I use very loosely, but you know, most of the guys in our choir are, let's say, 60, 70, and in fact our oldest chap was 90 the other day, which is great. Okay. But I think it's very much a pastime still for younger men. We've just recruited a new young chap that's been in the choir for about 3 or 4 months, and he's 23, which is really, really good. Now that is quite unusual.
What's his background? How come
he simply wanted to sing?
Right.
And he'd sort of seen us around a little bit. What he'd done is he'd actually done his research really positively. He'd gone out to various concerts and had been to one of our concerts and was attracted by the music. Now, I'm not saying we do anything special, but what I do like to do is that we do a mixture of traditional music, of typical male voice choir repertoire, which I'll call it, and then something a little bit more modern. Now, I'm not talking stuff that was written yesterday, but 60s, 70s, although we are trying some John Legend. So I think it's giving a variety of musical content, which I think attracted him, and he thought, actually, I'd quite like to be involved in that. So he's come along, and sometimes you do worry when you see a 23-year-old young man walk in thinking, is this going to be okay? But actually he's fitted in really well, and it works really well, because not only is he joining a musical group, he's joining a group of mates, basically. And that, I think, is one thing that we're also trying to support as well, that you are not just joining a musical group, it's a musical society. You're joining a bunch of men who actually like each other and get on with each other and are friends and provide a really nice support network for each other.
What kind of benefits, I know we talked briefly before about the health benefits that you see within a social choir sort of scenario. What have you noticed yourself?
There's a number of things that have been really, really obvious to me. We've done a number of workshops recently, and that's focused on, once every couple of months, and that's focused on vocal technique.
Okay.
So it is one thing to go and rehearse the notes, rehearse the music, rehearse the words, get ready for a concert. But actually what we've tried to focus on is vocal technique. So really good breathing, really good use of vowel sounds, and just general singing technique, placing the sound, making it sound young, making it sound focused. And all of that has really helped in making the sound of the choir be really blended and really worked to a positive nature, where it's not a big forced sound. We're actually singing properly. Now, the additional benefits of that are that they're breathing better. There's really sort of positive kind of feel-good factor as well when they are singing well. And one thing we've also noticed, and this is I've noticed this in a couple of other choirs that I've worked with, is that we've had positive health and well-being benefits where, you know, perhaps people have been unwell, or they've suffered a minor stroke and they've come in and they've had trouble with words. The fact that they are remembering lyrics and singing those lyrics gets over some of those problems. And I was a part of a big report last year, reporting on it rather than writing it, I have to say, about synchronicity. What they were saying was, if people breathe together, their hearts would actually beat at the same time. Well, I'm not quite sure that that's the case. However, if you are singing a musical phrase and you are breathing at the same time, there is an element where things will coordinate. So maybe taking a short breath or a bigger breath actually does have positive impact. You know, lung capacity, for example, is really good. And also just posture. You know, getting people to sit up and actually use the posture really positively. So we've
oxygenation,
really
I should imagine as well. You know, learning how to breathe properly, and most people breathe from the wrong place. So if you're learning how to breathe properly, you will oxygenate your whole body, won't you?
It's the capacity, I think, because as we're walking around town, we don't need all the breath that you do need to sing. And the biggest thing is actually that expending the breath. So we take the breath in generally very well, and you'll hear loads of people say, oh, I haven't got the breath to take it this long. And actually it's using the control of the whole body, of the intercostal muscles, of everything working together to make sure that that breath can actually go all the way to the end of a phrase. And it's those little things, which actually are not little things, but if you can sort of spark a little bit of knowledge through the vocal workshops which we've done, it really does help to focus the sound and get a better blend.
And what about in terms of the mental health aspect? We've talked a lot to a lot of groups, men's mental health groups on here. Is this another alternative for somebody who perhaps doesn't want to go to one of those? You've got that social network.
I think it really is. I mean, I volunteered at a dementia ward and found that patients that were there who had very little spoken word, the moment you started to sing a song, they came alive and they could remember words from years back. They may not have been able to remember stuff from yesterday, but they could remember all the words. And what that did, it triggered memories of when they were younger. Now, in terms of joining a choir, and they are saying now, some hospitals are actually saying, go and sing. It really does have benefits to you. There was a report just out recently that sporting activities, you know, increases the heart rate, well, so does singing. So actually, in terms of it being really positive, it does have that kind of health, well-being, mental state of terms of saying, actually, this is a good thing for you to do. And it is, as you just said, it's about friendship. It's about coming along. You know, we've had a number of chaps in the choir that have suffered bereavement and they've been back to choir the next week or within a couple of weeks, or they've not been too well themselves. They've kept in touch. Our guys keep in touch. So there's a little lifeline there. So it's not...
because you're spending so much time together, you've got that bond. So do you find that they open up more to you?
I think they open up to each other. I'm not sure whether they open up to me. But no, I think there is that case because we do meet up every week. Some of the guys go for a drink afterwards. So they all know what's going on. And also we've got at Honley, we've got a really active ladies circle. So partners and wives are also engaged who don't sing in the choir, of course, but they want to support what the guys are doing. And they have lots of events. And they give us money, which is fantastic. So they're part of, you know, that whole community as well. So the men, you know, have their singing, and the ladies have their support mechanism, which works really well for each other. And again, you know, when somebody does have a bit of a problem, you know, that everybody is there for each other, which is really good.
Very, very positive. So what kind of things can we see you guys getting up to?
Well, in the coming months, we've got a workshop with a South African conductor, so that they are coming all the way to work with Barnsley Youth Choir, who we've performed with in concert. So that's going to be a different kind of feature for our guys.
Does that mean that the musical content will be South African?
Indeed, it does. And singing in South African, which
Okay.
would be great. So that, and there's even a little bit of movement, which I haven't told them about yet. So that's going to be really...
and singing.
Maybe, yeah. But, you know, there's a different kind of feel to South African music. It's got really strong rhythms and really great harmonies. So that's something I want to introduce them to, which is great. We've got a concert coming up with a brass band, Carlton Main Frickley Colliery Band, and that performance will be signed by Dr. Paul Whitaker. Oh, wow. Okay. Next year, we're also welcoming Punta del Ice Male Voice Choir, who have won the Eisteddfod on 17 occasions. So we're welcoming them to Huddersfield.
They're not
which
bad.
Is a bit, well, no, they're okay. We're welcoming them. We are going to be singing in Barnsley in June with all the Barnsley youth choirs and their associated choirs celebrating 10 years. So there are going to be 600 singers in the choir. Wow. And I'm really delighted that they've invited us to go along. So that's a great opportunity for us. And then in July, we'll be taking part in the peace celebrations. And we've got more exciting things coming up in the future. So
okay, so a full programme of things.
Very much so. Very much so.
If I want to come and see you performing in any of these events, how do I find
It's
out?
basically, we are social media savvy, to say. So Facebook, Twitter, but best way is our website, Honley Male Voice Choir, and all the tickets, sort of contact details are there.
Is it .co.uk?
Info, I don't know. HonleyMaleVoiceChoir.co.uk. Yes, it is.
Okay.
I think it is. I have no idea.
We'll put it on
you
the
edit that bit
screen.
out. I have no idea. Caught me out there.
Sorry. Thank you.
Oh, you can look me up, Stephen Roberts. That's the one. Look for me.
On Facebook and
Twitter. Maestro Stefano is my Twitter handle.
Okay, that might be a bit more complex.
Yeah, that's just because Stephen Roberts is a really common name. So.
Of course, yeah. Thank you very much
That's
for popping
okay,
in
great.
to talk to
Thank
us.
you.
I'm definitely going to try and pop along to some
Good.
of those. The 600 people one, that sounds really quite an amazing
Very exciting for us.
feat. Yeah. That's all we have time for today. If you wish to discuss this or any other topic you see on KLTV, our contact details are on the screen. Thank you for watching. I'm Emma Kirk. Goodbye for now.